tuned for another episode of the Coming Soon podcast with sPidA.
Hello, everybody. sPidA here, Coming Soon podcast. Of course, once again, San Antonio, Texas. My guest all the way from Indianapolis, my man. How are you doing, bro? Samuel.
I'm good. I'm here.
Man, I appreciate you jumping on this, man. I know we've been talking for a minute, back and forth. One of the things being scheduling. I mean, of course, I think it's only like an hour time difference, correct?
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock here. I think you're an hour behind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So whatever I'm thinking, you've already done it, man. You're in the future, bro.
Right on.
But man, as far as jumping on this, man, I mean, of course, past few weeks, man, I've been grabbing a hold of a lot of you indie filmmakers, bro. I mean, you guys are out there making these movies into reality. I mean, you yourself, I mean, of course, come from acting. So I got to ask you, I mean, this whole process, I mean, was acting part of it? I mean, was directing, making movies like something that you had to evolve in? How did everything go about?
Well, as you can see, on my pages, I'm a security officer.
Yes, sir.
That's how everything started, and that is a story in itself that was an accidental take on. But I was reaching out to several people that I had seen on the internet asking for help on a film.
Yeah.
They needed photography, security, camera guys. So I tapped into a few. It's like, hey, I live in Indianapolis. I'm willing to travel. I can do security on a set. I can help out with stuff. Never been on a movie set. Never acted. Never been on camera except for what I do on my phone.
Right.
And a friend now, then didn't know him, was like, well, if I need some security, because I do wrestling too, then
nice.
I'll reach out to you. So I was like, all right. About a week later, he reached out and was like, hey, man, one of my guys dropped out. You want to take on this small part?
Go
and I'm
tap.
like, yeah, what's it consist of? He said, well, you got the bald head, you got the mustache and the goatee going, you got the little scruff going on. You could be a bad boy and act like, you're messing with my girl. And I'm like, okay, I can fill in for that. Nice. So the movie that's right here, you can't really see it too well, but it's called Just One Good Day. That was my first role ever.
Nice, man.
And it's a YouTube short that is part of a big production he's doing. He's got a lot of small little episodes that lead up to a movie, and he's getting ready to do another one to it. And from that, like I said, it was a no budget film, short. But it had a lot of good people, a lot of good people involved. And it was just unique to see how things happened with indie filmmakers. Yeah. And I got a taste for it. So I went from that and I started getting into the groups and looking and finding stuff. And another one that's here in town is through Naptown Films. This one, it's hashtag The Symbol on YouTube. And I played an extra in a one of their series, nothing big. And then a little while later, I seen another post. It was volunteer, non-paid, but IMDb credits. And I was like, well, Valparaiso's a little bit of ways away, but I'm willing to take the travel. And so I got up and went out that day and filmed this one, which ain't released yet, and it's called Detour. You can find it on Instagram. All the links and projects and all my businesses and stuff that I have is all through my link tree. So everything can be accessed there. And so getting a taste for things and going from 1 month to 2 months, and from 2 months all the way into 7 months before I got this.
Nice.
I couldn't find nothing. Couldn't make schedules work. So I wanted to be part of a horror film. I wanted to do something, be involved, not just 10, 15, 20 seconds of a short or 5-minute scene. I wanted to be involved.
Right.
Couldn't find nothing. And then I seen a post. I'm not going to mention the name. I'm not going to mention the movie. It's not been made. It ain't going to get made. Uh, he was casting for Jason. He needed 5 Jasons because he was telling a story of 5 victims who survived at a campgrounds. Around the campfire, they would tell their story.
Right.
Each one had a different view of Jason and what happened. So I got casted as one of the Jasons. I did my screen test, did my audition tape, turned everything in, went on live with him one night on Facebook with him and his girl. And during the whole conversation, they got into it live with a whole bunch of people watching.
Oh man.
And he slapped her.
What?
Yeah, he slapped her dead on the live video. And I was like, I can't be a part of this.
Damn, bro.
That whole thing should never have transpired. I didn't like it. I backed out of it. When he posted he was looking for a new Jason, he blocked me. He tried to talk some trash, and it just nobody listened to him, and everybody ended up dropping from the project anyway. And I got bored. I was like, man, I got to do something. I can't pay gas money and travel and hotel to go here to film for 2 days to get a paycheck at the end of it.
Yeah.
I can't do that. And all these paid, will pay for you to leave, travel, put you up and feed you, film and pay you for your filming, all have to have an agency and a manager, SAG, AFRA, something. You have to have something besides yourself,
Right.
as an indie artist, to get into something and get paid for it.
Yeah.
And I said, no. I was watching YouTube one night and I seen Don't Hike Alone, the Friday the 13th film, the fan film. And I was like, I watched it, and everybody has their own take of how they film stuff. Me, myself personally, I think the content was cool, but the way it was shot and filmed, I just don't, I think, in my personal opinion, it could have been done better, but that's me. And I'm not trying to knock him. He did good. He got it out there. He got a hell of a fan base.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at him. So I was like, well, hell, I'm gonna make me my own movie. I'm gonna do this on my own.
Yeah.
So I sat down, I started thinking, who can I be? What can I do? I have 2 original masks that nobody else has, that I had made at a convention, and then the other one I ordered, or no, it was given to me. He didn't want it anymore, and he gave it to me.
Nice.
And I just couldn't figure out how to implicate a story for those. So I was like, well, let me go through the classic villains and the horror genre and see what I could portray. And my wife is like, she's super supportive. She is so sick of hearing about this movie. She's like, when this is over, I don't want to hear no more. And because I give her everything in my brain goes to her, because she's not going to be like, and no offense to you, but we could be friends and I can ask your opinion and you're going to give me a friendly opinion. Right. We don't know each other that well.
Right.
This is my wife. And if I tell her something or let her see something, she's going to be blunt, point to the blank, truthful, nothing hidden.
Yeah, that's good though, man.
Exactly. Yeah. So I ran the voice to Freddie by her. She's like, some of it, but no, not you. Halloween's got such a hard thing to be able to do a fan film with, because it's still active.
Yeah.
And and there's loopholes that you have to jump through to make a fan film. And I'm not. What am I going to do with Michael Myers? Laurie done killed his ass in the movie. So what am I going to do? Do some backstory movie? I can't come up with nothing.
Yeah.
So I went through the rest. Nothing fitted me, suited me. And then I seen Jason, and I was like, I'm 6'3" and 168 pounds. I'm like, I'm not built for Jason. And I was like, but it's easy. He ain't got no dialogue.
Yeah.
I said, maybe I can pull this off. So I played with it for a minute and I was like, I'm going to do this. I had a short of 41 minutes, had 9 people that were involved. Nobody ever acted that first came on board. Nobody. And it just blew up. Now I got almost 50 cast members.
Damn.
I have a crew, a cinematographer. And I'm talking to another one now that might be able to be helping out. I've gotten a location for a couple scenes. I've gotten programs sent to me. The mask for Jason, the hockey mask, was custom made. There's only one of them.
Nice.
Another guy, I believe I reached out to him, but I don't want to take that away if he reached out to me. But we started talking, and he's a latex horror puppeteer. He makes all kinds of life-size faces and hands and stuff, and he films them.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, can you make a underskin, Jason's real face, and take it from the first movie, but make it today?
Oh,
and
damn.
I said, Jason was like 15, 16 when he drowned, supposedly drowned.
Right.
And when he comes out that water, Ari Lehman comes out that water, you can see the deformities of his face.
Yeah.
Later in a couple other movies, he's coming out of a house, no hockey mask, and a good shot of his face. And I was like, can you take these and aging and make him look like he's done went to hell, he's done been to space, he's done survived Manhattan, he's done been burned, buried in the ground, resurrected, and now he's an undead living zombie that don't give a hell about nothing. He's like, yeah, I can do that.
Nice.
And he took it and he sent me pictures. He mailed it out today. It is phenomenal.
Good. Nice, bro.
So no budget, no money, all volunteer, all donations and contributions have brought me to this level where on my Indiegogo, I've had 4 of them. The third one made $50, but I didn't reach my $100 minimum, so I didn't get the money. They will get refunded within 4 months. And then I started a new one. I had more people this time. I had more followers. I had more connections.
Right.
I put the feeler out. I've made $105. So when it ends here in a few days, if I don't make any more, I'm getting the 105 in 30 days. I'll have $105 to be able to buy some blood and some few other props that I desperately need. I have a location I can use. It's a big warehouse. It's $50 for the whole day or for an hour. $50 for an hour. And I think I need 3 hours. So there's $150 to use this whole warehouse for 3 hours. And I want to use it because one of their in-house musicians is also writing a song to the music I made for him. He's writing an original song for the film.
Damn, man.
And then I've got all kinds of other musicians in the film. Some are known, some are up and coming, some are just doing their thing, indie artists. I've reached out to other artists that are bigger. I've gotten a couple. But I've got some good cast members, some that's got well over 50 and 60 film credits on IMDb to their name.
Damn.
I've got a ton of non-actors, some local, some in other states that did some scenes. I got a couple wrestlers in my film. So doing security, I had connections.
Yeah.
And because I'm not your typical security guy. I get on a security scene, I do what I'm told, but I also give my advice. Hey, this you might want to try this or this, and
Yeah.
I make a good connection with whoever I'm working with or for, and they remember me. And I reached out to a few, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll jump on board." Hey, well, I can't. I got a contract. I'm not allowed to do nothing for friends or family, but you know, I can do this for you and do some things and help me out. But I'm here. I'm starting the kill scenes. All my remote scenes are shot. But next month I start doing the actual kill scenes where I film with Jason. And the only thing that I'm not tripping off no more, but was the fake blood. A
Yeah.
gallon's like $30, and it's just kind of hard to be able to raise funds because I got 4 credits.
Yeah.
Nobody knows me. Um, so people wanting to donate to something on an Indigo fan film, they're hesitant because a lot of people get the money,
Yeah.
don't make the film, and cut out, and
Yeah.
nobody gets their money back. And that's what people are scared of, and I understand that. And I just wanna make this film and get it out and show what anybody anybody can do if you know how to open your mouth and talk and network and connect, because you just know dreams can happen,
Yeah.
ideas can happen, and you just got to know how to do it. And I'm here because, brother, I'm gonna tell you honestly, you can search my name and you'll find it. So I'm not worrying about it. I got a record
Right.
like 80% of the population has,
Oh yeah.
and for me to try to walk out the door and get a normal everyday job with, you know, one of my children having disabilities, my wife having some medical issues. I'm almost 50. My wife's in her 40s. Our kids are almost grown except for all my kids are grown except for my 8-year-old, 9-year-old, I apologize. And, to work a normal everyday job with me being a felon right now, I can't do that because I got to take time off to drive her to the hospital or take him to a doctor's appointment. Hey, I need this day off. Hey, I need this day off.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, man, look, you take too much time off. Just stay the hell home. Don't come back in no more.
Yeah.
So I started my security company after I left a music venue. It's slow. It don't work all the time. When I got the camera to film and everything, I got a camera. And now, because of that, I'm working 3 wrestling events, doing photography and video of them. And one of them's coming up next month in Evansville for secret headquarters. They're putting on the Jerry the King Lawler celebration. And I get to go and film it and take photos with all the legends of wrestling.
Yeah.
So doing them connections like that, anybody can do something.
No, yeah, I agree, man. I mean, the whole podcast thing. I mean, I'm at events pretty much every weekend, bro, and I'm hanging out with everybody. I mean, that's one of the perks of doing what I do. But I mean, I've met a lot of people too, man. I mean, like yourself, I mean, there's people out there trying to make things happen, and one of the things I've told myself last year was like, man, I mean, opportunities come, man. I'm gonna jump on them. I don't care if it's something small, if it's something big, great, but that's what I'm doing right now. I mean, I've been in a few perks already, man. I'm working on 2 local films. I've got invited to another one for next month, and they're like, "Hey, you want to do this?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, dude, let's go. Give me a date and time, and I'll be there, man." But as far as this film, man, I mean, of course, you do live in Indianapolis, man. So of course, the title itself had to be at home, right? I mean, was that one of the things you wanted to keep?
Yes, I wanted to. I've watched so many movies, dude. I'm a movie buff and a music buff. And only a handful of things have ever really been made in Indiana and actually shot here.
Right.
Anything you see with Indiana and Indianapolis a lot of times they say it and then they show a scene and it ain't here. It's not here. And I'm like, Indianapolis is on the map for the Indianapolis 500, for the Pacers, for the Colts, for the Fever, and other stuff we have here. But people are looking at that stuff, but they ain't seeing it in the films. They're not seeing it in movies or on TV. They're seeing events you have to come to.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make a movie, didn't care what it was, and have Indianapolis in the title and put some of the iconic landmarks that we have in the film, have Jason walk past them, or just have it in the scene and
Right.
put my city on the map with something that's iconic.
Yeah.
Jason's iconic.
No, I agree, man. I mean, and it's just coincidentally, man. I mean, I've got a couple of masks laying around, bro. I mean, of course, everybody's, anybody who's out there loves horror, bro. I mean, you can't, like you said, it's an iconic. I got a coaster somebody gave me a while back, and hell, dude, you just gotta love it, man. But let me ask you. I mean, earlier you were talking about the different characters. You went to Freddy. I mean, as far as what you could portray. I mean, what was it other than Jason being iconic? I mean, was that something that, did you grow up being a fan of Friday the 13th? I mean, was that something that you were like, you know what, man, I can make this happen, man?
To be honest with you, no. I'm a fan of all the villains, but
Yeah.
I've only seen a handful of any of the films. Like, seriously. I've seen all the Scream movies.
Right.
But I've seen the original Texas. I had seen the original Freddy's New Nightmare, and Freddy versus Jason. And then I seen all the Halloweens. But as for Freddy movies and Jason movies, I'd only seen 2 of the Freddys and none of the Mike.
That's it.
Serious. And I just knew by seeing what I had seen that he's easy to portray and you can make it dynamic.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can do this. So I had to go watch. I watched the first 3 movies with my wife to try to get a grip on the story and how he walks, how he kills, how he portrays himself for me. And I was criticizing the movie too, so I could see how I wanted to take my part. And I liked it, and I was able to research how to do the kill scenes. So without special effects, like some movies, he stabs him and it comes out the back and you see it. They cut the head off and you see it slowly fall off. I can't do that. I ain't got money for that. So I figured out how to make your imagination play to the scene by some other films I had seen where they kill people. Right. And I was like, okay, I can give you the dynamics of what's about to happen off in a distance at an angle where you don't see any of the actual stabbing, killing, cutting, but you can see what's going on, and your imagination runs wild. Like, damn boy, getting tore up. Damn. And then I put the plot to my story.
Yeah.
It's original. Because everything about this storyline, there's nothing anywhere at all in the history. And it all plays with his family.
Nice, man.
So I researched his family members. I researched the canons. I researched the wikis. I researched everything I could, the books, all of it, and hit the Friday the 13th forums and started reading and seeing the real franchises canon. Yeah. And I'm like, there ain't nothing there for this. Nothing. I'm going to run with that. That's an easy run to tell a story about why he came to Indianapolis.
Nice, bro.
And that's what I did. And it's going to keep you hanging on because you get in the opening scene, you get a gist. You get an idea of what's going on, but you're still confused because you're like, what does that have to do with Jason? Like, why is he looking at this? Why is he going there? And then, typical Friday the 13th movie for most of the middle part of it. And then towards the end, everything gets revealed. The whole ball and cheese is laid out in a nice domino effect to the very end of the film. And being my first time writing the story, I didn't write the script, I wrote the story.
Right.
And then not trusting no one to do it the way I want it in my brain to be visualized, I took on the role of director and producer. Not knowing how to do any of that except from what I've seen on other things I've been a part of.
Right.
And it's my film, so nobody's going to tell me do this and don't do that and don't do this, leave this out, because I may not want that if you're doing it. I may want you, what are you doing? Leave that in there. And then you got an argument.
Right.
And I want what I see up here. I don't want what you see because it's not your story.
Right. Right.
And when I got it all pieced together, got my script, which we're still working on the script. It's all done, but I have to edit some things, add some things, and we're working it out. And I'm just telling you, it's a hassle.
Man, you see, man, and of course, I mean, being that you've already been in films, I mean, of course, you said, there were smaller parts. I mean, of course, you're still looking. I mean, this is going to be your first big one, right? I mean, this is going to be like you're going to be the main character. I mean, what are you looking at in the long run? Because of course, you said you wrestle. I mean, you're out there.
I don't wrestle. No.
Oh, okay.
I have a cousin who wrestles for IPW in Muncie, and
cool, man.
My family, my mom was one point in time when I was like little kid. She used to work for Bobo Brazil Jr., who used to be known as Calypso Jim, and Dick the Bruiser. So wrestling's been in my life all my life. And when my cousin started wrestling, I started taking my kids up there to see them, and I just made some good connections with everybody. And now I'm part of the family. I've been invited to come up, as I've tried for the last year to go up and do photos and videos and be a part of the show. Now I get my opportunity this Saturday. I get to go up and do it.
Nice, man.
And like I said, being my first film that I'm doing everything on, I've seen so many first-time debut filmmakers and their films, and some are like, you should have stayed on your day job. And others are like, damn, you did. But you had a budget, but damn, you did good. And then I'm like, I didn't want some cheesy off the Amazon mask. I didn't want some generic hockey mask or some store-bought costume. I wanted everything to be original, one-of-a-kind, spatial, and unique. If I hadn't have got my Jason face, I had a mask that I was going to supplement but not reveal it because it's all grotesque.
Right.
And that's what I started off with till this guy reached out to me. And I was like, let's do it. And when I seen it, I changed a scene in I changed it so that it's revealed. The hockey mask comes off. The face is right there on the screen. You get a good view look at it. I've got a jewelry maker who's donating a piece of jewelry that's going to be on a victim that's going to get a good highlight during the film. You contributed to our film. Yeah. You're going to have your podcast logo and everything listed somewhere in the film.
Nice, brother. I appreciate that, man.
And I'm also wanting you to do a video for the film, like a self-recorded video outside. So, like you're being interviewed by the press.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like, oh yeah. Hey, and say like, hey, my name's Samuel Schmucker, and yeah, I have the podcast. It's called Coming Soon Podcast, and it's on YouTube. And you talking about Jason being here in town? Man, I'm trying to get the guy. I'm trying to get him on my show. That's what I'm trying to do. Jason, you watching? Come and get on Coming Soon Pod. I want you to do something like that to promote.
Bro, I'm digging that, man. I can definitely do that, bro. That'd be a nice little. But yeah, man, we'll definitely talk about. I mean, I'm down. I mean, heck, bro, whatever I can do. I mean, as far as promoting and put it out there. I mean, by all means, bro. I'm game.
I'm trying to make this thing blow up as a first-time filmmaker. And you asked what my future was for this. I'm not trying to make money because it's a tribute,
right,
to the franchise. I'm trying to show them justice because Friday the 13th right now has been dead for 10 years over this lawsuit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it alive, trying to add new flavor to it, add to the story. And I hope I do good with it and it comes out. People like it, share it, it gets a following and builds up. It would be nice if they added my story to the canon to give that character history.
Right.
And when I go to apply or audition or something and they go to see my IMDb and they see what I've done and they decide to say, okay, well, he wrote the story, he produced it, directed it, put it out, and did it with less than $1,000, less than $200. Let me go look at this film. And they like it. I may have better opportunities in the future. Yeah. Be like, hey, you did such a good damn job. Hey, I got $500. You come over here and help me out with this. Or, hey, you want to be this? And that's my goal is maybe somebody will see what I've done with nothing.
Yeah.
And I get an agent. I get a manager. I get a talent agency to take me on and be able to get paid roles somewhere. And blow up my security company. You got a podcast. Mine's launching on the 29th.
Yeah.
And, I want to grow and do multiple things, but grow. I want to get a following and be able to do this without having to leave my house and go get a job.
Because, I mean, you got family at home. I mean, they need you, like you said, man. I mean, I've been there. I had my mom living with us for 2 years, man. It was tough juggling, work. And at that time, I was actually self-employed. So I was able to come and go. But it just so happened like the provider would leave at a certain time. And by the time I got home, I'd be getting calls. And I'm like, man, I can't. I'm already home. And so, I was losing a lot of money. So it's tough, man. I mean, I ain't going to lie. It's something that, people, I mean, I hated putting my mom in a home, man. I mean, we went, we decided, she's being taken care of 24/7. She has doctors there. She started having health issues to where, there was a lot of things she couldn't do. She's falling down a lot. And so I was like, man, I got, she fell on the provider twice and she couldn't lift her, man. So I was just like, you know what? Like, it can't happen, dude. Last one might be the last one, or the next one might be the last one. So we just decided to, make that decision, and that's that. But I mean, we go see her. She's great. She's a tough lady, man. Definitely my hero, but she's tough as nails. But I mean, what you were saying earlier, man, I'm in the same boat. I'm out there. I'm reaching. I've been networking like a madman for the past year. Here locally, I'm in San Antonio, bro. But there's so much going on since last year when I started. I mean, horror itself is booming. We got a lot of local, as far as movie makers, and it's pretty cool, man. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, for me, I do have to work, but for the most part, I get opportunities and I get invited. I'm like, man, I'm there. My boss is pretty cool about me stepping away for an hour or leaving early. So, I'm just gonna make it happen. But yeah, man. I mean, this storyline. I'm in the process of doing a short film myself, man. I've got a nice little team, and we're just gonna. My thing is just storylines. I'm not gonna do films. I'm doing reels. I'm doing short, like real short storylines. But in the same note, I'm kind of like you, man. I see different characters doing, in my own vision, my own. I have my own ideas. So I say, you know what, man? I'm just gonna throw them out there, and it's gonna be a lot of. My biggest thing is I'm going to be doing a lot of mashups. I'm going to get 2 storylines and boom, make them work and just throw them out there, just have fun with it, man. Honestly, it's on a no budget. So the guys that I have right now, everybody's like, yeah, man, we'll go out there and shoot, a couple hours one day. And, A lot of the conventions I'm going to, man, I've already gotten permission from 2 of them, and it's like shooting out there with the crowds. The cosplayers are going to be there, so I'm like, man, I'm gonna grab them while I'm out there, but make it fun, let everybody know. So plug in the podcast, plug in everything, man.
Yeah, I got invited to a meet and greet at a Half Price Books to set up a table and talk about it. I think that's next month or June. And then in July, there's a comic book convention in Kokomo where I have a 10 by 10 space that I get to come and set up. And so I'm hoping to get put into a couple conventions like Horror Hound or Days of the Dead, get invited to Scare Fest or any place where it's horror themed that I can go and try to
story, man. No, and for sure, and of course, you're going to be out there. Are you going to be dressed up? Are you going to be cosplay?
I thought about it, but I want to wait. If it's after the films came out, yeah, I might dress up and walk around to help promote it. But if the film's not released, I will probably not walk around. These two things, you can't really leave your table.
Right.
So it's I'll have the mask and the underskin and the costume probably all there to allow photos with him for a price.
Right.
To help put some money in the budget. After the film, yeah, I'll probably go around. But I wanted to show you and whoever else.
Yes, bro.
This is the first vision of, I've only posted a picture of it, but this is the mask that'll be used.
Damn, yes. Hell yeah. Bro.
And it's like, it's riveted in, like you could see the rivets in it. And so it is a very sturdy mask, and he's got credits in the film, IMDb. I posted about him, and I will continue to. But he's phenomenal. And when if you come to a meet and greet or somewhere I'm at, you'll be able to get a picture with this. You'll be able to look at it. I probably ain't gonna let too many people touch it unless you're gonna get a picture with it.
Right.
But I'll have that, the machete. I'll have the underskin. But yeah, cosplaying only if the films came out.
Nice, bro. No, and definitely, I agree, man. Because you're gonna be trying to promote it. So if the movie's not out, it's better for you to be out there and just talk to people. Bring them in, let them know what's going on. The whole photo op is definitely genius, man, because you can get a mannequin, you can get something, put the mask on where they don't have to touch it, just kind of stand in front, take their photos. So that'd be pretty cool, man, because I'm actually doing something like that next month. I'm gonna start getting tables, man, for the podcast. I've got people that I'm gonna be having them work the tables. I'm gonna be everywhere else. I'm gonna be walking around just networking, hustling. But the biggest thing is just plugging people in. I've been doing this here in San Antonio for a minute. It's been over a year and 2 months or 3 months, and people know about it, man. People see me out there so much. They think I work at these events now, bro. So it's kind of, but I do help out, and I'm enjoying it, man. But the fact that I've earned that respect and trust, to be there and be with the guests, and I always ask, of course, ahead of time, if they're allowed to, if they'd be willing to take some, get an interview or take some photos. And for the most part, everybody's pretty cool about it, man. I've been able to befriend a lot of these actors, man. They keep coming back, so it's just always great to see them. But yeah, man, I agree, man. The fact that you want to put your hometown on the map, that makes sense. That way people they'll start they'll Google it and be like, man, what the heck what's Jason doing out there, bro? So of course they're going to be interested in knowing, man. And when you say you wrote the story, you said the script is being worked on. How is the script different from the story? Did you just kind of break it down, chop it down more for the video itself, for the movie?
Well, the story was never actually written on paper. It was up here. And when I put out the feeler for someone who knew how to write a script, I got a guy responded and said, "Yeah, man, I love working on horror stuff. Tell me what you got." So we called each other and we talked on the phone, and I told him my story, and he's like, "Yeah, I can come up with something like that. Can you type a little bit of your story and your ideas down and send them to me in a DM?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I did. And they were just the kill scenes, because all my remote scenes, I contacted each individual by themselves,
Right.
got them on board, and I just gave them a set of lines to self record.
Right.
They're not in the script yet. After I film and I send the script writer my completed film, he's going to watch it, and then all the scenes that need to be dialogued into the script, he's going to revise the script with their dialogue.
Okay. Makes
And
sense.
then I'm going to have a complete script. But
Nice.
we had we went back and forth till I got what I saw, and I let him have free reign with how they died. I let him use his imagination, because I couldn't see things the way I wanted. I just knew she's got to die. How do I let him decide that?
Nice, bro.
You know, my mind thing was putting Indianapolis in there, what kind of character I wanted to die, and where I wanted him to die at was all me, and then how they died was him.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, that's cool, man. I mean, at least you're gonna get his vision when it comes to that, man. So that's pretty cool, man.
And I had two script writers. I had my head script writer has been with me since the start, and then he kind of had a Facebook problem, and I hadn't had his. I lost his number and I didn't have it. And when he finally got out of Facebook or back onto Facebook, it had been a month or so, and I had to revise the script. I had to write some other stuff, and I'm like, I can't. Hey, anybody out there voluntarily want to help out on a currently in production script writing? And somebody messaged me. He's a horror novelist. He writes horror novels. So he's like, "Hey, I've done a few. I can take it on." And so I sent it to him, and he's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" And I told him, and he put his intake in. Then Mike came back, and I put them two together, and they worked back and forth together and came up with what I'm currently editing right now to send back to him.
Nice, man. Well, that's a good thing that they decided they were able to work together, man, because that could have been a problem, bro.
Yeah. I did tell the new guy, Clarence, I was like, he may or may not come back. I don't know what's going on, but it's not like him not to respond. So if he comes back, I'd like y'all two to work together. And he's like, "Man, no problem. Anything about Jason?" And he showed me Jason stuff on his walls. He goes,
Oh, hell
"Just to
yeah,
be a
dude.
part of it, I'm pleased." So
No, for sure, man. I mean, yeah, because one of the things with myself, man, because a lot of these films, like yourself, you got the storyline. It was unique. I mean, I was intrigued. I was like, man, okay, I want to be a part of this. I want to help out. I mean, of course, jumping on there, maybe being a contributor or being able to help with these perks, man. I mean, it's Indiegogo is what most of the people use, but for me, it's kind of like the whole storyline. It's just like, I mean, I'm doing the podcast, I'm doing the interviews. It just kind of makes sense for me to be in them. Help out, whether it's with a voice or a visual or a photo or whatever. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, man, because of course, the one I'm working on, man. I'm real big with comedy, horror comedy. I mean, like Return of the Living Dead, Shopping Mall. Just stuff there's blood and there's death. But people are laughing. I don't know. I get a kick out of that, right? So
like Shaun of the Dead.
yes, sir. That's it. So a lot of my ideas my mashups are gonna be comedy, bro. Like I want people to be like, oh, okay, you know what? Like I get it. There's gonna be a lot of inside jokes. For the most part, they're gonna be quick, man. I'm not gonna spend too much time on them, but I'm just gonna get these characters lined up. I mean, a lot of my buddies, want to jump on them, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you a line, I'm gonna give you a scene, and we're gonna film, shoot it, and move on. There's just one thing, and I don't know if it would be something that you'd be interested in later, man. But there's this filming convention type where you go out there, you get genre as far as what it is. You got to write the story that same day. The next day you got to shoot, and then you got to produce it, man. And it's like speed filming, and I like it.
I don't think I'm ready for that yet.
No. Well, you see, for me, I was just like, man, when one of the filmmakers was telling me, I was just like, man, that kind of makes. I mean, for me, it makes sense, and I was like, you know what, man. A lot of the actors that I've been been able to interview when I'm out there, and I said, man, how many shoots did you guys do? And they're like, one. We only had enough money for one, man. It was a one and done, and I was just like, you know what, I kind of like that because it's like it kind of gives you you don't have a choice but to shoot that one or work with that script or scene. But yeah, man, that's kind of what I'm gonna be doing. It's just gonna be speed filming, man. Like boom, okay, we're gonna do it, shoot one angle, two angles. Boom, done. Just throw it out there and move on. I've got a couple of remote locations here, man. I've got a couple of parks that are like, discreet. There's not much traffic, and I've already done two of them, and I'm just like, okay, you know what? We can definitely use these, and the biggest thing is being able to work, have weapons and use them out there without freaking people out, man. That's the biggest thing. I don't want the cops called, but
that's
yeah,
what I gotta figure out is a lot of my scenes. All my scenes are outside except for one, and I'm having such a hard time finding the location for the opening and closing scene. Those are the only interiors.
Yeah.
And most of them are being shot over here by my house.
Okay.
So I gotta let neighbors around me know the day I shoot, knock on their door and be like, hey, I live right behind you. I live right down the street. About dark time, I'm going to be shooting a movie out back.
A little bit of screaming.
There's going to be some screaming. So please don't call the cops. You're welcome to come out and watch.
Yeah.
But don't call the cops because there's nothing really going to happen. It's for a film.
Yeah.
And that's the only part I'm hesitant about. All my neighbors that live right close to me all know about it.
Yeah.
But, I got some neighbors behind me off to the side where I'm filming at. They're right in their backyard. So.
No, yeah. We did a shoot one day, man. It was a while back, but we were in this baseball field. It was a private property, but there was like across the fence, there was houses. And we're walking around with, fake guns and I was just like, and it was a pretty, I don't want to say it's a bad neighborhood, man. I mean, it's just, I was like, yeah, man, I don't want somebody to flip out and freak out and call the cops. But with the scenes where people had to yell and they're getting beat up, and I'm kind of like looking around, like, wait, like I'm out of the camera, I'm not on there, but I'm like waving at people, like, hey, we're filming, Like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, I can see where it can get kind of weird, and people, do come.
My neighborhood is notorious for gunshots, like at 10 a.m. at night. 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what time. A gunshot happens, you'll be like, we'll see it on the news. I mean, sirens throughout the whole day. That's one of the things that I'm worrying about is when I go out here and I start to shoot something that one of these actresses' screams might be louder than normal.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy with that, but somebody walking down the street half a block away might hear this and be like, damn, what the hell? Oh, no. I just heard a lady scream.
Yeah.
Right here. And then I got the sirens coming, and I got to stop shooting, wait for all this drama to happen. Sorry, guys. Let's start over.
Damn. I was going to say that or just put them in the movie, man. Hell.
You guys want to be part of it? I could use that scene. Y'all could roll up in the IMPD car and be like, we got another 187 over here. I love that. I've been trying to get an IMPD or an Indiana State cop in my film. I've even messaged and tried to set appointments with the governor and the mayor.
Damn.
I haven't got no response from nobody.
Like to get them involved?
I'm trying to, yeah.
Oh, man, that's pretty. And you know what, man? There was a guy, I ran into him. I met him like years back. And like one day I was at a convention of all things. And he came up to me. He's like, hey, how's it going? And he's talking to me like he knew me. And I'm like, just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. Like trying to figure out who he was. Well, he was clean shaven. He used to have a beard, mustache. And he was clean cut, in a suit or tie. And he was like, yeah, man. And he's like, man, do you know who I am? And I said, man, I got no idea, bro. I'm sorry, man. And he was like, dude, like, you used to buy VHS movies from me. I'm so and so. And I was like, oh, damn, okay. Like, and he used to do films. He used to do horror films. And he was running for mayor at that time. He was like, man, I'm running. And I was like, I mean, he didn't win, but he was trying to make a change. And I said, you know what, man? I said, that's cool, man. But now that you mentioned that, I said, you never know, man. The mayor might be like, dude, Jason, I'm in. put me in there, you know.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going down to the state house sometime here in the next month or so and walking into the governor's office and talking to the secretary and let her know what I'm trying to do. Can I get penciled in to come back?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the mayor's office, you just can't do that. You ain't getting into any of his personal area. They just built our new justice center, so it's a complication to get to him.
Yeah.
And but the governor's office, you can walk right into his office. So I'm going to keep trying. And I've got some cops that live around here that I may go knock on their door and see what the process is. But I'm just not to that point yet, but I'd like to have somebody like that.
Oh, yeah, man. Because I mean, for the most part, I mean, I know, I don't know if they're allowed to wear their uniform. They'd probably have to wear like a costume, right? Or something that just kind of resembles that.
That's one of the things I haven't been able to find out. I've looked and scoured Indianapolis's law enforcement and the state troopers filming things, and I can't find, are they allowed to, are they not allowed to? I haven't been able to find that. But I know in California that a lot of them do moonlighting after their shift at clubs like we have here.
Oh, yeah.
But being in a film is different from moonlighting and doing your job off duty to being in a film. I'm waiting on an email from the state police, and I'm waiting for a response on the 4 places I messaged on the Indianapolis police to get back to me.
Man, man. I mean, definitely keep me posted on that, because there's one of the conventions here. As a matter of fact, this weekend I was at the that one event, and we're in San Antonio, but it's like its own little section, but it's called Balcony Heights, and they have their own police department. Well, one of the officers actually works. He volunteers for the event, so he's always out there in full costume or in full uniform, right? But I mean, but he's cool as hell, dude. And I mean, for the most part, he gets to meet everybody, takes pictures with everybody. I mean, who's gonna say no, right? He's got a gun, bro. He's packing, right? But he's a fan, and I'm sure if you were to meet somebody, or maybe go, you know, like you said, down the street and talk to one of these guys, I'm sure one of them would be like, yeah, bro, like I'd be interested. I mean, whether or not they can wear the uniform, but at least wear something close to it, and just, you know what I mean, like resemble it and play the part.
I have a guy who's one of the everybody, the adults in the household.
Yeah.
He's a friend of ours, and he's a security officer. He's got a white Ford old cop car.
Right.
It's got the spotlight on it, and he's got his lights on it and security badges. And from a distance, it looks like a cop car. And he's in my film using that.
Oh, heck yeah.
To be able to have a real IMPD officer or state trooper where I can zero in on the badge on the car and on his uniform puts more of Indianapolis in my film.
Nice, man. No, well, I hope you do, man. I hope the mayor gets into. I hope, you know, everybody does get involved, man. For the most part, I mean, there's small towns here, like right outside the city, and a lot of them. I used to deliver when I was a mailman 15 years, and I used to deliver in this town called Divine, and it's probably like 40 minutes away from here. But the town itself was like, man, I mean, they had their own post office, it was small. It was like small town feel. For the most part, like a lot of things there were easier to get involved in because it's a smaller town. So they were like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, anything to bring highlight and then give them some exposure, you know. So I don't know if maybe something like that would work for you, like going into a smaller town and just kind of plugging that in.
Well, I could do that because Jason in the film leaves Crystal Lake.
Right.
And he travels through Pennsylvania, Ohio to get to Indianapolis. And when you come into Indianapolis from Ohio, you got Richmond and a boatload of small towns till you hit Indy.
Yeah.
And I could reach out to some of the smaller towns like that. And I know a few that I could probably go to. A couple of them are super small
Yeah.
because they could say, oh, yeah, we got calls all day long about a man in a hockey mask walking through somebody's cornfield. We went out there was nothing there. And that's a scene I could put in a movie.
Yeah. No, yeah, man, for sure. I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, it makes sense, man. So I'm hoping, especially, I mean, this is going to be your first film. I hope everything lines up and works for you guys, man. As far as, I mean, filming, I mean, when are you thinking? Because you see, you already got a majority of the kill scenes, but I mean, as far as filming itself, what are you projecting, man?
Well, as when I'm starting,
Right.
We start next month, and it's like the second week of May is the first scheduled shoot date, and then pretty much every Saturday, Friday, or Sunday, I have a shoot all the way up until June.
Okay. Sweet, bro. Well, yeah, man. I mean, of course, like you said, I mean, I'm definitely interested, man. I mean, on that video perk, I'm in. Definitely count me in. Like I said, whatever I can do, man, I'm gonna keep sharing your as far as your Indiegogo, throw it out there, man. Let other people participate and contribute, and make this happen, man. So I appreciate you, bro. I would love to get you back on here, man. Maybe get us some more info. Maybe by then.
Can you have multiple guests on your show at one
Oh
time?
yeah, man. Yeah, I can get up to 10 people, bro.
10? Okay, because I'm doing a podcast the 29th with some of my cast and crew for my first podcast. We will be wrapped up with shooting middle of July.
Right.
And then maybe we can come back. I can come back on the show and bring some of my cast and crew.
Definitely.
And fill the board up. And then we can touch in on what they feel about what they've shot and what their experience is.
No, yeah, by all means, bro. I mean, before then, just plug me in as far as like who I know for the most part. I mean, you've been posting some of the actors, but that way I can get some info on them and be
I
able
can
to questions.
When I get off of here, I will go and add you to our film group where all the actors and crew are at.
Okay.
And that way you can introduce yourself, and if you want to solo with somebody that's on there and do a show with them or whatever, feel free. That's why I put that there. And I've lost 3 or 4 actors who signed on because they didn't agree with me putting a group on Facebook solely for the actors and the crew. That he was like, this is too strange. I've never seen anybody make a movie and make a group chat for everybody to congregate together. And I said, I'm not your typical filmmaker. I want everybody to be on the same page, so I ain't got to say, hey, Tony, here's your schedule. Hey, Mike, hey, here's your lines. Hey, Richard, here's yours. Hey, I can go on in a group and post one thing and everybody will get it.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It's like,
and it makes sense too because they get to know each other, and when it comes to filming, they already got that chemistry going, and you know what I mean. So that, yeah, man, I don't know what they were thinking, but makes perfect sense to me, bro.
And then I had 2 backers and lost them because they said I was unorganized, irrational, and didn't know what I was doing. And I came when they said that, I was like, so you're done? He's like, yeah, I got to back out, man. I can't. You just don't. You're all over the board. And I'm like, I'm a first-time filmmaker. This is a fan film.
Yeah.
This ain't Hollywood. I ain't got 50 people underneath me to do 50 different things. I'm doing everything but a handful of stuff. Yeah, I'm all over the board. But when it's time for me to do what I got to do, I know what to do. I know how to do it. And he was like, well, I can't take a chance on that. And I can't send money to you that I'm going to try to raise without you showing me that you've shot stuff, you've got footage. And I'm like, just because you contribute to the film or donate to the film doesn't give you the right to ask for footage of the film.
Oh, yeah, man.
And he was like, well, my team wants, if I give you you want $500, right? I'm like, I'm trying to raise 500. I'm trying to raise 1,000 now for trying to have a movie premiere at a theater and get some things that I can try to put a budget in here,
right,
and be able to get locations and props that I still need. He was like, well, I can give you 500. I can get that easily, but I need to see this. And my team needs executive producer and co-producer. And I'm like, wait a minute, man, you ain't dictating to me what the hell you're getting on my film.
Yeah.
You put $500 in Indiegogo and you don't get a perk. You don't get no say-so about nothing. You buy a perk, you get what the hell you buy. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm trying to make something here, and you're not involved. Why am I going to give you a producer? Are you going to come to Indiana, sit here with me every single day while I mess with this thing? He's like, no, I'm out here. I'm like, well, then you don't get to dictate nothing. So bye. Yeah. I've been this far without your help. I can keep going without your help.
No, yeah.
And then in the process, he took somebody with him from the film. He talked somebody into leaving and joining him on stuff. So I lost that person, which was a big contributor to doing some side stuff. But when somebody leaves, 3 more are like, hey, I'm ready. Hey, I'm ready.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it. It's going to get made. It's going to come out. It's going to be public for everybody to see on my YouTube page in September on the 13th, on Friday.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
If I do raise funds, I'm going to get a premiere about a week before the YouTube premiere for anybody. It's a free event. Anybody can come to it.
Sweet, bro.
But I'm making it specifically for the actors that have never acted, never been involved in stuff, to come to a theater, see your name on the poster, or come into the theater and see yourself on the big screen.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. And that's I mean, that's one of my goals right there, man. I want to be able to go somewhere and be like, damn, I don't care if I'm in the back. I don't care. I mean, but yeah, dude, that's definitely on my bucket list. But we'll get there, man. You know, it's like, I mean, you're making things happen. I mean, the fact that you already started and the wheels are in motion, man, it's just a matter of, you know, getting those funds to finish, you know, getting the props that you need. And, you know, we'll keep pushing for that, bro. Yeah,
but we start filming in about 1 month.
Got it, man. We'll definitely crank it up, brother. But, man, I appreciate you, man. Add me on that group. We'll talk about that video. And I'll keep promoting you, man. I'll keep throwing you out there and try to see if we can raise you some more funds, bro.
Thank you.
No problem. Don't hang up yet. Everybody out there, of course, once again, Samuel, this is the sPidA Coming Soon podcast. Until next time, follow up.